afternoon. I came back yesterday from Lucknow and tried to know what is expectations from this session. Are you interested in popular lecture? Are you interested in technical lecture? So Rakhi told me, "Sir, technical will do." I said, "How much time are you giving to me?" Anything up to 1 hour. So I asked, means by that time, half of the audience will be asleep. Would like to have that? So we have the culture of research. So that may not be. So I appreciate that and hope by the end of this session you will remain awake and alive. So I am presenting a position paper. This again prompted by Rakhi that a lot of question is being raised whether HR makes any valuable difference in the bottom line or business result of the organization. So I have collected the evidence from many sources, and this is a position paper. Yes, it makes a difference. How? That I am presenting. So what is the structure of my presentation? So HRM practices, what we are doing and what has been done elsewhere, how business performance is being measured, and then, as Professor Malhotra has said, there are many issues in measurement. We are also grappling with the issues of measurement in organization behavior and human resources. Then state-of-art findings in Western country as well as whatever has happened in India, and based on that, what are the performance and practice implications, and finally future directions of research exploration of black box. So just to say what I am going to say, this is my theory. HRM practices produce motivation, skill acquisition, engagement, psychological capital. In turn, employees get evaluated positively, get better reward, get citizenship behavior, and produce positive relationship with customers. So customers get satisfied. If customer gets satisfied, they get retained. They want to do business with the company, and that's how company enhances its value, bottom line, and shareholders get their value. So this is the chain that I consider is happening, and behind the entire chain, HRM practices are there. Of course, HRM practices are not out of context. HRM practices are in context. in context of whatever strategy we are following, in context whatever is the culture of the organization, in context whatever is the regulatory mechanism. So all those things become independent variable for HRM practices. But since question is whether HRM practices make a difference or not, so I am talking about that. On HRM practices, we have three major perspectives. High performance work practices. Many times it's also called high involvement work practices. It's also called high commitment work practices. People have used different terminologies, but they essentially mean which can motivate people. Let me just say, if you want to get best out of people, two things are required. One is motivation, another is leadership. Whole organization behavior, human resource management are hovering around these two concepts, motivation and leadership. If we are to study only two chapters in organization behavior, I'll say broadly in management, two chapters, motivation and leadership. Motivation we need for ourselves, we need for others. So who is responsible for motivating others? That is leader. So leaders motivate. And whole HRM processes are also doing the same. We have leadership substitute theory. If our management system, if HRM processes are built such that they try to motivate people, then we don't require an external leader. And many times, leader is at best when his presence or absence is not felt. And it happens only when the high performance work practices are in place and they are really working as a system. What is a contingency perspective to HR? Every practice will not produce the result in every situation. So there must be kind of balancing act between what is the requirement of the system and how you are approaching through HR processes. Jackson and Schuller published a paper way back in 1995, which in Academy of Management Review, which talks about contingency perspective on HRM practices. See, there is another theory which says it's a combination, it's a configuration that works, and if we have that unique configuration, we can get best out of our HR system. So configuration perspective on HRM practices. Pfeffer is means a leader in the area of high performance work practices. 1994, he presented these 16 dimensions of high performance work practices. You can just see, and most of them we try to emulate even in Indian organizations, like employment security, selective hiring, high compensation, incentives, employee ownership, information sharing,